So here we are again for another lockdown episode, and today I want to talk about freedom in lockdown. And it was very interesting because lockdown was announced on Tuesday night, or Tuesday, and we had to go into lockdown on Tuesday night, and I was in Tekapo. I'd been away for 3 days, and so I was driving back the next day on the Wednesday, and it was a very different feel driving back. There was a different vibe in the air. There were still quite a few cars on the road, people going home from where they had been, but there was definitely a different energy in the air. And as I was driving along, I was very aware, because it was such stunning scenery. If you look up on a map, Tekapo to Queenstown, it goes down the middle of the South Island of New Zealand, and it's an absolutely stunning stretch of road. And actually the whole of the South Island is stunning stretches of road, but in particular it looked beautiful because it had snowed quite heavily the day before, and it had snowed down to ground level, but most of that had melted. But the snow on the mountains was just fresh and pure and white and literally stunning. It was a beautiful blue sky day as I was driving, and it was just, what I can say is it was stunning. And as I was driving, I had this feeling, and this theme of freedom was coming to me. And I stopped a couple of times, and one time I was stopped by a lake, and I was watching all these birds flying around me, little sparrows down at my feet, and then there were hawks and ducks and whatever up in the air. And I was thinking to myself, these guys aren't going into lockdown. They're flying free. They really, their lives are completely unaffected, and probably much improved by the fact that us humans have to be incarcerated in our homes. And that got me thinking as well, there's just this theme of freedom. And then this morning I was on a webinar, and it was on a topic which I've been doing a lot of study on for over 20 years now, which is the study of the Ageless Wisdom Teachings, which are a body of teachings which talk about the evolution of humanity in a much bigger way than what most people have ever been taught or heard about, and certainly not taught in school, not yet anyway. So I was on this webinar, and they were talking about, sorry, it's a bit sunny here, they were talking about the freedom, the emancipation of the soul, which is all about us freeing ourselves from our lower personality. So our personality consists in these teachings of our physical body, which includes our etheric energy body, our mind, everything to do with the mind, and our emotions. And our job is to free ourselves from the slavery, if you like, of being controlled by our threefold personality, and to transcend, although that's not quite the right way of saying it, but to transcend ourselves to soul consciousness, so that we see ourselves as soul, and that is unity consciousness. And this is actually the evolution that humanity is going through at the moment. And whilst many people have been doing this individually for some time now, we're really being pushed to do this collectively. And this has got a lot to do with what's going on with the crisis that we're experiencing at the moment. It's all wrapped up, it's all part and parcel of it. So what we're wanting to do is to emancipate our soul, although our soul is already free, but we're wanting to free ourselves from this connection, this pulling down into form, into matter, into the threefold personality. And so I just wanted to talk about this theme of freedom, because even though we're incarcerated, so to speak, imprisoned in our homes, which for some of us is very, very difficult, and for others, such as myself, very fortunate to be living where I'm living, and I'm very, very grateful that we're allowed to go outside and walk. But the point is that we can be free inside. Even though whatever is going on outside may be really difficult and really challenging, we can be free inside, and that is where we have to search and find our freedom. And obviously I'm still searching. I'm not there yet, but I do have a different understanding of this than I did 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. I wasn't taught any of this when I grew up in school. I just thought that you were born, you went to school, you went to university maybe, you got married, you had kids, you went to work, and you died. And I thought that's what life was about. And then through several circumstances that happened, I started to learn that actually no, there's a bigger reason and a bigger picture to life. And we're not here to just do that. We're here to evolve ourselves as humans, and we're literally evolving from one dimension of being to another. And this is huge. If you haven't heard of this before, this is a bit mind-boggling, and it's taken me many years to assimilate and learn even just a speck of information about this topic. It's such a huge topic, but this is our journey to emancipate ourselves. And the way that we do it, and this was also another reason for doing this live today, because I've just started a detox program today, a physical detoxification program, is that the way that we emancipate ourselves, so to speak, and we free ourselves, if we could put one word on it, it would be purification. We have to purify ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally. So we have to purify our body physically, which has always been quite a challenge for me, so that it's working optimally. We have to purify ourselves emotionally, which is where I've put most of my attention over the past 20 years and have made huge progress. So we have to free ourselves of being trapped and stuck in negative emotional states. We have to become very proficient at how to deal with negative emotions, or any emotions, so that we're no longer trapped by our emotions. And we have to purify our mind, which means working on our patterns of consciousness and clearing old unhealthy patterns of consciousness, which we're run by very much unconsciously. So this is all a process of purification. So my question to you, just as it is to me, is how much are you purifying yourself? How much on an ongoing daily basis are you purifying your mind, your emotions, and your physical body? And also that includes energetically as well. We can have, at an energetic level, an etheric level, we can have unhealthy energy or chi, which is the building block of everything else anyway. But we can clear and purify our energy as well. So that's what I wanted to share today, is the topic of freedom and purification. So I hope this has been interesting, and look forward to seeing you again.